Welcome to the Volkswagen Taygun. What we are driving here today is the 1-liter TSI with the 6-speed manual transmission. You may have seen our exhaustive review of the Taygun, and in case you've missed it, don't worry, we'll be highlighting all the salient features of the Taygun in this video. Now the Volkswagen Taygun comes with two engine options. One is the 1.5-liter turbo petrol engine, which we've extensively reviewed, and then there's this, the 1-liter TSI, the 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine. A 1-liter engine for an SUV sounds inadequate, but remember, this is no ordinary engine. It's a direct injection turbocharged unit, and the 115 horsepower and 178 Newton meters of torque are quite impressive for a 999cc engine. It's a punchy little engine, but it's different to what most buyers will be used to. There's a bit of a learning curve when you are moving on to this 1-liter TSI engine from a naturally aspirated car. You see, this 1-liter TSI engine needs to be worked in order to extract the best performance out of it. Keep the engine on the boil, keep the revs above 1700 RPM, and it delivers strong performance. But the minute the revs fall below 1700 RPM, you reach a dead zone and you will have to downshift to a lower gear to get moving. On boost, the TSI performs really well, and it certainly punches above its weight when it comes to pulling power. And speaking of performance, the 1-liter TSI is a strong performer. It packs in a strong mid-range and an even stronger top end. So you will love spinning this engine all the way till its red line more often than you'd usually do. When you are cruising at 80 kilometers per hour and you want to overtake the slow-moving trailer in front, you just squeeze your right foot a bit and the Taygun pulls ahead with ease. You don't need any downshifts. Performance is good, and so is acceleration through the gears. The clutch is a bit heavier than you'd expect in a car of this price, and even the gear shifts are not as smooth as its Korean rivals. So in summary, it's not as effortless to drive as its Korean rivals. Refinement is also not best in class, but you won't have reason to complain either. So this engine is pretty smooth and pretty silent on the move, but it's only when you rev it hard that you can hear the typical 3-cylinder thrum. There are some vibrations that you can feel through the seats at idle, but these smoothen out on the move. If anything, the 1-liter engine is a bit lighter than the 1.5, so there's less weight on the front end. It remains composed at highway speeds, and there's very little body movement to speak of. Highway stability is rock solid. So then if you are looking for a Taygun with a manual transmission, your choices will be torn between the 1.5 GT version and the 1-liter top line. You see, the price difference between the two cars is only 50,000. For the money, the Taygun top line offers a lot of kit, some of which isn't even available in the more expensive 1.5 GT manual variant, such as a sunroof, digital dials, auto headlamps and rain sensing wipers, LED headlamps, cool seats, and then some. It all boils down to whether you prioritize features or you want thrilling performance. And to be honest, the 1-liter is so good, it is likely to satiate the performance needs of most buyers. And as a result, a majority of buyers, with the exception of a few ardent driving enthusiasts, are likely to question the need to spend more for the 1.5 TSI manual. So then the 1-liter TSI is smooth in its operation, it's a strong performer, and it's decently equipped. But is it the best driving car in its segment? We've got the Škoda Kushaq to answer just that. Now I'm behind the wheel of the Škoda Kushaq 1-liter TSI with the 6-speed manual. And first impressions, it feels identical to the Volkswagen Taygun. In fact, these cars, the Taygun and the Kushaq, are built on the same assembly line. They share their engine, suspension and other components, and as a result, the drive experience is almost identical. The Kushaq exhibits the same taut driving manners, its sure-footedness and a steering which is as smooth as the Taygun's. And even in their milder forms, the cousins from the Volkswagen Group are more entertaining than other midsize SUVs on sale today. While the overall drive experience is the same, our testing gear revealed that the Taygun 1-litre TSI is quicker than the Kushaq 1-litre TSI. On digging further, we learned that the Volkswagen and Skoda use different software maps, which could be the cause for their performance variance. Even so, the differences behind the wheel are more in terms of the driver environment rather than the driving experience itself. Personally, I prefer the analog dials in the Kushaq compared to the digital ones in the Taygun. However, the monochrome MID looks just too outdated in a car in 2021. At the end of the day, whether you buy a Volkswagen Taygun or the Skoda Kushaq, what you are getting is a great to drive mid-size SUV. You will, however, find yourself picking sides when you consider how they look, what they're like inside, and what features they pack. Both these cars rock their unique family design traits when viewed head-on. The Taygun looks like a mini Tiguan with its flat bonnet, its 3-slat chrome grille, the big Volkswagen logo, and the rectangular headlamps. For India, Volkswagen has added dollops of chrome on the bumper, and while some might like it, some may not. Skoda, on the other hand, wears a more inoffensive design, and this too features its family design traits like the signature butterfly grille, and it also gets silver 4 skid plates, adding to its butch, off-roadish, rugged character. View these cars in light of their competition, and they are the smallest in their class, except their wheelbase, which is class-leading at 2651 mm. What's more is that when you see these two cars side by side, you'll know that they are identical. They have the same doors, the same mirrors, the same roof rails, the same rear fender. What's unique is their front fender, their alloy wheel design, and the Kushaq also gets a Skoda applique on the front fender. And just like the front, their rear styling is very unique. Now the Taygun gets this smoked bezel-like element with the LED strip running the breadth of the boot. It's very youthful, very concept car-like in its character, whereas the Kushaq has a lot cleaner, a lot more mature styling. Now, which car out of these two would you prefer? Let us know in the comment section down below. So both these cars come with a 385-litre boot, and both come with the flexibility of 60-40 split rear seats to carry additional cargo. What's interesting is that the Taygun comes with a 15-inch spare tire, whereas the Kushaq comes with a 16-inch spare tire. And housed in the Kushaq spare tire is a subwoofer for a better sound experience. The Taygun's interiors are nicely laid out. Now, compared to the GT version that we've seen earlier, there are 3 typical changes. The first one is that the ambient lighting is white in this car compared to red in the GT. The second change is that the instrument cluster now gets a blue theme, which is even easier on the eyes. And the third change is the inclusion of cooled seats for the front passengers. Now, on the whole, the plastics are really nice to touch and everything feels solid and built to last. The Taygun's dual-tone interior theme makes the cabin appear bright, the space on offer is good, and so is seat comfort. Now let's move on to the Kushaq. And the Skoda Kushaq's interiors strike a resemblance with the Volkswagen Taygun, save for the top half of the dashboard and this design element that flows into the door pads. Now the dashboard features a lot more design elements compared to the Volkswagen Taygun. You have this 3D-like element over here. You have this chrome strip which runs into the air vents. There's a tablet-like touchscreen infotainment system, and then there's the 2-spoke steering wheel, whereas the Taygun gets a 3-spoke flat bottom one. Now that aside, Skoda and Volkswagen share the seats, the lower half of the dashboard, and several other bits on the inside. The Kushaq's cabin features a grey theme, and the seats sport unique yellow stitching. Space and practicality are identical to the Taygun. There's ample space for 2 at the back, although the narrow width is a limiting factor for a third occupant. There are some differences in the equipment list though. Both cars get auto LED headlamps, 17-inch wheels, a sunroof, a large touchscreen with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. They get cool seats, ESP, 6 airbags, and a lot more. Exclusive to the Taygun is a digital instrument cluster, whereas the Kushaq offers a subwoofer and an anti-theft alarm over the Taygun. So at the end of the day, the Skoda Kushaq and the Volkswagen Taygun drive similarly, perform similarly, they have similar levels of equipment, space and practicality, and they are also priced not too far apart. So what really sets them apart then is their styling, both inside and out. What will also be a deciding factor for buyers are their personal preferences and perceptions towards the two brands, as well as the proximity of sales and support touchpoints. It was a split house even among the testers at Autocar India. However, the Taygun's added flash and those digital dials eventually won it more votes. So which is the one that'll be for you? And just like the front, their rear end styling is very unique. Now the Taygun gets... ये Taygun ही है ना? बहुत fumble हुआ. Okay, last time, take 546.